What are you doing?
I have to turn this.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Yes, my friends, it's about that time again. So, how you doing, Mr. Investor? Are you a millionaire yet? So obviously, maybe you guys are celebrating today with family. Hopefully you enjoy this video that, I'm putting out today for you guys. So we do have a few things that I want to talk about today, mostly news-based considering it is a holiday. Also, don't forget that tomorrow's Black Friday and the stock market only trades until 1 p.m. So it's kind of like a half day over there. So I'm not expecting too much crazy price action, but there are a lot of things we need to talk about. The first thing is the situation that's been going on with Genesis and Grayscale. Well, somebody actually finally did some deep diving, and I'm going to let you know what they found out. A lot of people are kind of sleeping on this information, so I want to share that with you. There also is some Bitcoin, some 7-year-old Bitcoin from the Mt. Gox era that's on the move right now. I'll let you know what that's all about. And I also want to talk about a few things that maybe we should just be somewhat cautious about moving forward. We will talk about that. But the most important thing, I think, to really just go into right now, and if you guys are not subscribed, by the way, get subscribed. We're making videos on a holiday over here. So what I did want to talk about was, so DB over here, he's, this account tends to tweet the news really quick. And yesterday we had the Fed minutes, right? So they were pretty much talking about what this, Fed minutes had said, and they say that most Fed officials backed slowing the pace of rate hikes soon. Various Fed officials saw rate hikes peaking at a higher level, right? So basically, you can see majority of Fed officials see rate hikes slowing down soon. So what does this mean? Well, you can see over here, although they're saying that there is the threat of recession, they're saying that, ultimately they are looking to decrease the interest rates, right? So they've been doing 75 basis points. There's a very good chance that they may move to 50. Now, I don't think they're going to do 25. I think 25 would send a wrong message, right? It would say, because they still want to maintain that hawkish stance. They want, Jerome Powell has made it very clear that they want to keep raising these rates, but lowering from 75 basis points to 50 could signal that potentially the worst is over. Now, maybe the worst isn't over. Maybe we go into a decade-long recession. I highly doubt that that's what's going to end up happening. I'm pretty sure that they'll turn on the money printer before that. And honestly, this target of 2%, guys, I just don't think it's happening. I just don't think it's happening. They might have to settle for 3 or 4. You let me know. Maybe they'll get down to those levels. So super quick on the charts. This is going to be very, very quick, TA. I did want to point out one thing that is actually pretty awesome, which is the fact, if you could see right here, guys, what we did was we actually had a bit of a bear trap potentially, right? Like if you scribble this out, you can actually see that we have found support right here on this trend. It's actually pretty crazy how it's aligned. So we have this bottom area right here. You can see we have the new blue zone, right? So look at this. We found support right there where this line intersected with this line, intersected with this line right here. So we had essentially 3 separate supports right now. That's actually pretty good for Bitcoin. Obviously, like I said, I don't really trust any moves happening soon, but I did want to point out that we actually could have had a little bit of a bear trap, and now we are supported. Also, Mustache pointed out that every time we go, into the green zone of the R hodl, and we move out of it, we do tend to see, Bitcoin rally. He says manipulation, possibly. And then also, Trader Tardigrade also pointed out that Bitcoin is looking a lot like 2015. And we've also made comparisons with how this bear market is more similar to that market, right? Inverted and logarithmic MACD, Bitcoin falls into the zone, which created upper wick monthly candle, and then a massive bull run follows. So a little bit of hopium, not sure. The one thing that I do want to warn you guys on, though, Bitcoin has not really been performing that well compared to the S&P. So we actually have seen that deviation, right? It was just very coupled following every footstep. Now, what we have right here is this is the S&P 500 and it's in this descending broadening wedge. And right here, we're going to hit some kind of resistance. I don't know when it'll happen, whether it's, next week or the following week, but that is a very, very critical level. And you could see right here, if stocks do get rejected off of that level and start coming down to these lower levels, it's probably not going to be very good for Bitcoin. So that is just a bit of caution. Okay. That's it for the TA today, guys. And by the way, if you are looking to, chart and stuff like this, I just wanted to let you know that TradingView has a Black Friday sale. They're doing 60% off and 1 month free. So if you wanted to use TradingView, which is what I use for all this charts. You can check that out below, right? So let's talk about this 7-year-old 10,000 Bitcoin that moved. He says, no surprise, it's from criminals. The most of old Bitcoin, probably from the Mt. Gox hack. Now, why does he say that this is a bad thing? Well, he says that it's mostly bearish in these cases. Think about Bitcoin being minted in a lawless era, owned by individuals who can't KYC, and distributed through multiple exchanges in tens of thousands of small deposits, which don't require KYC. But again, 10,000 Bitcoin. I mean, if they dumped 10,000 Bitcoin right now, it wouldn't really make that much of an impact. I mean, we do literally almost billions of dollars in volume every day. So, I mean, would it have an impact? Of course, a little bit, but it's nothing to, get too crazy over. So, without going into this thread, it's way too long, way too technical. I'm just going to explain it to to a 5-year-old, right? Basically, Ergo BTC did chain analysis on the different coins, diving into Grayscale, by looking at the relationship between Grayscale and Coinbase custody and following these different addresses. As I said, there's lots of details in there. I actually retweeted this over on my Twitter if you guys want to read the entire report. But in summary, they say the Grayscale, in this analysis, we use additional on-chain forensics to confirm the approximate 633,000 Bitcoin is held by Coinbase custody for GBTC. So they're saying, according to this analysis, the funds are there. So hopefully we can just scratch that off the list. The biggest question, though, is why does Grayscale refuse to disclose this? We've verified it. At least Ergo has verified it. So the funds are there. Why don't they want to let people know? They're saying it's for security purposes. I don't know. But this does kind of make the situation a little less aggressive, right? We still don't know Digital Currency Group. We don't know what they were doing in the background. I don't know how the business itself personally is doing, as far as them as an entity. But we do know that the Bitcoin that is supposed to be held by Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is in fact there. So that's good, right? At least they're not lending it out and doing things they're not supposed to be doing, right? So hopefully that's a little bit of good news for everybody today. Doesn't mean that it's over, doesn't mean that companies can't go bankrupt, and it doesn't mean that there isn't more malicious activity in the background, but at least it means that these funds are in fact here. Now, speaking of using people's funds, still don't understand how this man is walking freely, but he's going to be speaking at a conference in New York along the Ukrainian president and U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Absolutely insane. I'm surprised that they're even going to let this guy. I mean, is he going to be there physically, or is he going to do it on a screen or something? I mean, can you imagine this guy walking around New York? I know there's a lot of angry people, but I'm not gonna comment too much on that. But they did put out this piece, and again, New York Times fluff article. This huge article about SBF, it, literally barely mentions anything about his wrongdoings and pretty much just goes and talks about how he was such a great guy and how he donated to all these different things. And it's really unfortunate what happened to him. It's really actually kind of sad and disgusting. And this is how you know that there's definitely something going on with this in the background, because it's so apparently obvious what happened, and yet you're just seeing these fluff pieces like, poor Sam, damn, he built an empire and it fell, and we feel really bad for him, and he donated a lot and he's a really good guy. It's just, I don't understand it. It's just very weird. But at least everyone watching, we know the truth, and the truth will set you free, and the truth will eventually come out. On the flip side though, we got these guys going belly up, right? And then we got CZ over here looking for a $1 billion fund for future acquisition of troubled assets in the sector. He says that there was much interest from industry leaders for a recovery fund, and Binance is likely to submit a second bid for the insolvent lender Voyager Digital. So this is kind of the point, you're basically seeing the strong survive. That's what's going on. And, everybody, you're hearing all these things about, oh, this is going to set the industry back years. Look, it definitely wasn't a good thing. And it most certainly is pretty much opening that door for hardcore regulation. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin will survive. It has survived. Everyone, whenever you're going through something, you always assume that this is the worst. Imagine how it felt for people in the Mt. Gox era, right? I have seen companies implode, cryptos go to zero, scams, fraud, exchanges, hacks, you name it, guys, in the years that I've been in crypto. And yet Bitcoin always comes back victorious and does survive. And if the Fed is looking to finally start cooling off a bit, this could be that opportunity, right? Not to mention the fact that we have the lower house of the Federal Assembly of Russia, also known as the State Duma. They've begun working on regulations for the creation of an official Russian crypto exchange. So they're obviously interested. They see the value in things like Bitcoin and crypto. And they go on to say it makes no sense to say that cryptocurrencies do not exist. But the problem is that it circulates in a large stream outside of government regulation. These are billions of rubles of lost budget revenues in the form of taxes. So again, guys, like I said, this is obviously Russia, but even with the US, why would they want to ban Bitcoin? Why would they want to ban crypto when they could regulate it and they could tax it? At the end of the day, really think about it, right? It's not so much that they, don't like it or something. They just want to figure out how they can, milk some of those tax dollars out, right? So we are seeing that from Russia, but I did just kind of want to end on this note. And like I said, today's mostly just news-based, a little bit quick stuff, not too much going on the holiday. But this is from Michael Saylor, and he says, first-time bear market, here is some advice. If you're buying Bitcoin and you've got less than a 4-year time horizon, you're just speculating in it. And once you've got more than a 4-year time horizon, then the obvious thing is you dollar cost average. He compares... So this is a joke he made. He said, if you bought a house and then every time you went to a party, you got drunk, and then at 11 p.m. or midnight, you walked up and said, how much will you pay for my house? I want to sell you my entire house right now. Someone might say, well, I'm not really in the mood to buy a house. I'll give you like half of what you paid for it. And then you'll go home despondent saying, damn, I lost all my money. Avoid the anxiety, he advised, and if you really do need the money in the next 12 months, it's not investable capital. Instead, it's working capital. A logical model is if you live in Argentina, you're holding pesos for a month or two, you're holding dollars for a year or two, you're holding Bitcoin for a decade or two. And when you think about it in those frequencies and time frames, it all starts to make sense. So guys, on that note, I am out of here. And once again, Black Friday, you can get free Bitcoin if you want. You can use the link below. If you get the Ledger Nano X, you get $30 in free Bitcoin. They have a coupon and basically they send it to you. And if you want the S, you get 20. Personally, I'm not going to lie, just because it's cheaper, I do kind of just like the S. I like the simplicity of it, but the X is cool because it has Bluetooth. So you can check it out, guys. I do have a tutorial for that. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Be safe out there. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.